Alright, as I have made for the other two classes I have started with recently, restarted with, because I have played this game before, but I don't recall the specialization trees being a thing when I last played. That doesn't mean they weren't a thing, I just don't recall them. So, with each of the new characters I've created and played again, I'm going through them. So, Zeal is the first specialization. And the first one we have is when you are struck while below the health threshold of 75%, you, with a 30-second internal cooldown, you place a symbol on the ground. It damages foes and grants resolution to allies. So it's 2 seconds of resolution. It can damage up to 5 targets. It pulses 4 times, and the symbol duration is 4 seconds. So usually it's like 4 seconds and 5 pulses, or so that doesn't make sense. I don't know if it doesn't damage until after 1 second, or if it damages immediately and then But anyway, it should have 4 instances of damage and 4 instances in theory also of resolution. But yeah, the radius is very small. It's like a tiny bit more than melee range. Next one is Wrathful Spirit. And whenever your Aegis ends, it grants boons. It grants resolution for 4 seconds. It grants fury for 4 seconds. Fiery Wrath. Deal increased strike damage to burning foes, and we automatically burn foes like every 3 hits. Which your greatsword combo is 3 hits. Your sword combo is 3 hits. Your staff will be a little bit slower at it. Your scepter will be kind of slow at it, yeah. But, so great with melee for sure. So 7% increased strike damage if they're burning. And they can be burning from multiple sources, so this could be up almost all the time from like everybody else who's dealing damage if you're in a group. Zealous Scepter. Whenever Virtue Skill 1 triggers, which is like burning foes every few attacks, you will get might. If you're wielding a scepter, you'll get a second stack of might, and these last for 10 seconds, so the stacking is quite effective. Well, I mean, it's effective enough with just sword or greatsword attacks, but with scepter, it stacks doubly, basically. Symbolic Exposure. Symbols inflict vulnerability on foes. So symbols are skills that you have that say symbol in kind of yellow letters at the very beginning of the description. For instance, Greatsword has a 12-second cooldown symbol of resolution. It's skill number 4. It pierces the ground, damages foes, and grants resolution to allies. And it's actually a pretty good damaging skill. So every 12 seconds, you can activate this to give 5 seconds of vulnerability on whatever foes are hit, which is 2 stacks, 5 seconds. But it also just passively seems to increase. It's still in the same paragraph as the whole symbols thing, but it says deal increased strike damage to vulnerable foes. So I think that's just passive. So any foe that is vulnerable, you will automatically deal 5% more damage to them, strike damage. Furious Focus. While you have Fury, your attacks inflict vulnerability. There's a 1 second internal cooldown, so I guess you can inflict vulnerability more than once every 1 second. The vulnerability will last for 6 seconds, so this could stack quite high over time, like probably no more than 5-6 stacks depending on how often you have Fury, but whatever. Zealous Blade, your power is increased. Nice to have that just flat off. Gain additional power while wielding a greatsword. Perfect for what I am set up for. And my greatsword skills have reduced damage. So the extra power you will get with a greatsword is equivalent to the power you get straight up. And the recharge reduction is 20%, which is awesome. So 4/5 faster. 80%, like 20% faster. No. 1/5 faster. 4/5 the normal cooldown. If that 80%, yeah, whatever. Kindled Zeal. Gain condition damage based on your power. So You gain more condition damage at a rate of 10% of the power you have. Symbolic power. Symbols deal increased strike damage, so it's 30% increased strike damage, so it's going to make our symbol of resolution that much better. I don't know what other symbol things we have. I think sword, like just regular sword, has a symbol as well, but I haven't looked at it recently. Eternal armory. Spirit weapons, like my new Sword of Justice, I'm going to be using more often, I think. Gain additional casts and burn foes with their first strike. So I get one more cast of my Sword of Justice. So instead of 3, I have 4. The cooldown per charge will probably still be 15 seconds. That's awesome. And the first strike will deal 8 seconds of burning for, at this level, 242 damage, which is a lot of damage, but it might be different at later levels. The next one is Shattered Aegis, which is also Mystic Rebuke. So when an Aegis you applied blocks an attack, it unleashes a Mystic Rebuke, and that Mystic Rebuke lash out against nearby foes. So it can hit up to 5 foes. It can't crit. It's more or less double your melee range, and the damage is basically equivalent to one of your greatsword attack strikes, but with AoE, that's not bad. And it depends on how often you were applying Aegis to yourself, because you have to apply it. When an Aegis you applied blocks an attack, so you get one automatically every either 25 or 40 seconds. I'm not, maybe 45. 20 or 45. I'm not entirely sure. Aegis refresh 40 seconds, so that's what. Okay, that's just your passive. And the final talent or whatever in this tree, or whatever you want to call it, Symbolic Avenger. Your strike damage is increased whenever your symbols hit a foe, and this gives you 2% increased strike damage for 15 seconds anytime your symbols hit a foe. So your number 4 here on your greatsword is going to hit at least like 5 times. The maximum stacks is 5, so you will get, in theory, 10% increased strike damage every time you use Symbol of Resolution, as long as it hits at least something 5 times. That's pretty cool. A video I watched basically said, for damage purposes,
hey, sticker,
as you are leveling...
You need a job?
Shush, please.
Looking for some fodder.
I'm busy.
The guards.
You're very
my
annoying.
caravan.
Shush, please. Why are you still there? Why? I'm so far away. Why can I still hear you? Stupid. Okay. So yeah. That leveling guide was about 2 years ago. He said some things that I didn't necessarily agree with, but he also kind of mentioned, like, you really don't need ranged attacks much as a guardian. Your better options are melee. So anyway, greatsword for sure. Sword and focus maybe as well. The Radiance tree or circle starts with Justice is Blind. Gain a light aura and blind nearby foes when you activate Virtue Skill 1, which is your Virtue of Justice, which will say myself and my allies will inflict burning on the next attack. So a 20-second cooldown. It's not bad for a good, like, kind of AoE of sorts, or even all good against the same, like, big monster, as long as you can hit in a 600 radius at least 5 allies. Yeah, blindness will make the next... Okay, gain a light aura and blind nearby foes. So you'll blind up to 5 foes in a 240 radius, which is like double melee range. Next attack will miss. Light aura means that everybody in the aura of 240 should have 10% less incoming condition damage. I believe that's what that means. Inner Fire, the next one. Gain Fury when you strike a foe that has burning stacks over the threshold. Not entirely sure what that means. It was not explained to me. The internal cooldown is 10 seconds, but I think the stack threshold is 3 or 90 damage. In Fury, if you do get that, will last for 8 seconds. This needs some testing, because I'm not entirely sure how that works. Right Hand Strength, the next one. Your precision is increased. And you gain increased power while wielding a one-handed weapon in your main hand. So this could work well with sword and focus or scepter and focus. It won't work with staff. But precision, at this level, precision 18, power equal to precision also 18. So not bad for sword scepter, or sword focus or scepter focus, depending on if you want ranged possibilities or not. Healer's resolution. Gain resolution when using a healing skill. 20-second internal cooldown. Resolution will last for 8 seconds. This would probably work. It would obviously work with Litany of Wrath or your other healing skills. I think there are other healing skills you have. Like there's a bow. Bow of Truth. Feels like it's a healing skill, but it doesn't say heal on it. But neither does Litany of Wrath. It's a meditation, so I don't know what all that would work with, but 20-second internal cooldown, resolution lasts for 8 seconds. Renewed Justice. Virtue skill 1 is renewed when you kill a foe. See, that's where this gets awesome. So, where's that first one? So, Justice is blind. Whenever you activate Virtue skill 1, you cause blindness and a light aura around you. And if you're refreshing that every freaking time when you kill a foe, I'm not sure, in a group as a guardian, I'm not sure how often you are personally killing a foe, but if it works when you are participating in the killing of a foe, then awesome. I don't know, we'll see. I probably won't ever figure that out. We'll see. Lesser Signet of Wrath is a signet that immobilizes your target with a 25-second cooldown. The immobilized lasts for 3 seconds. Long range. Striking an enemy with a damaging effect from Virtue 1. Okay, so once again, if you do Virtue of Justice, which theoretically will reset every time you kill a foe, you could be immobilizing a foe every fight. And burning them every fight, and blah blah blah. So, but it says when you striking an enemy with a damaging effect, so you have to actually go up and hit, but you can hit them theoretically with a scepter, although you might not be in the range to cause the blindness. Yeah, okay, anyway, interesting. Immobilized doesn't work super well if you have to be in melee range with it, because it can still hit you, but anyway. Radiant Fire, next one. Zealot's Flame is improved. What is that? What's Zealot's Flame? Anybody know what the fuck that is? Hold on. Did I read that somewhere? Nope, I have no idea what that is. Anyway, Zealot's Flame is improved. Burning you inflict has increased duration, and your torch skills gain reduced... Oh, is that a torch skill? Is it? Where's torch offhand? It is. So, Zealot's Flame is a 15-second cooldown. You set yourself ablaze. You set yourself on fire. Wait, no. For 3 seconds, it doesn't say you burn. You burn up to 3 nearby foes for that 3 seconds. The final pulse also applies additional burning. Okay, let's go back to this then. Sorry. So Zealot's Flame, burning will have an increased duration. Your torch skills gain reduced recharge of 20%. The duration of the burn is increased by 20%. Zealot's Flame base burning duration also increases by 50%. And the maximum count, it looks like, increases to 2. Is it only 1? Oh, cool. So you can use it twice, and I'm assuming there's a 15-second cooldown on, like, the recharges. So, like, AoE, inflicted burning can happen way more often, last for longer, reduced duration, reduced cooldown. Cool. Retribution. Strike damage dealt is increased while you have resolution. And you get resolution from a fair number of these things. Whenever you use a healing skill, if you choose that one. I thought I saw it in another one. Maybe it was in the Zeal tree. Whatever. But 10% increased strike damage when you have resolution. Radiant Power. Attacks against burning foes have an increased chance to critically hit, and your ferocity is increased. So ferocity increased by 36, and crit chance against burning foes an additional 10%, which I believe is additive, not multiplicative. Amplified Wrath. Burning you inflict deals increased damage. Very nice. Burning duration applied by the passive effect of Virtue Skill 1 is increased. Also very nice. The duration increased by 20%, which gives you more like uptime on your increased strike damage, your increased crit chance, etc. And the damage for the burning effects you inflict is 10% more. Perfect Inscriptions. Signets gain improved passive effects and continue to grant their passive bonuses while recharging. Okay, so the effectiveness is increased by 20%. The cool thing is they grant their passive bonuses after you use them. So let's say I use, well, the knockdown from the power signet, I guess would do, what, 20% more damage, and the knockdown will last 20% longer. Signet of Judgment, Resolution, and Burning nearby. And I said that one would be pretty cool to use with that increased effectiveness, and I could still get the damage reduction from the passive, which is what I mostly have it on for. So that's kind of nice. Righteous Instincts. Resolution increases your. This is the last one in the tree. Resolution increases your chance to critically strike and grants might each interval. So you'll get 6 seconds of might each second that you have resolution. You'll have 25% crit chance increase for all the time that you have resolution. You can get resolution from Signet of Judgment, which is a 20-second cooldown. You'll still get the passive damage reduction when you do that. You can get resolution from using a healing spell. Wait, if you choose that particular option, which is honestly not my favorite option of the ones that are listed here, but yeah, for survivability purposes, yeah, healer's resolution is probably the best way to go. But I think you get resolution from the symbol of resolution gives you resolution as well. So you could have a pretty strong uptime on gaining might, increased crit chance, because you can have it up. The symbol is 4 seconds every 12 seconds, so you'd probably do symbol, Signet of Judgment for another 3 seconds, so you have four or five on the symbol of resolution, number 4 greatsword skill. Another 3, so like 8 seconds, and then probably back to symbol of resolution if you want that more, and so you can kind of dance there. And I don't know what sword and focus do for that, but anyway. The next tree is Valor. Valorous Defense, number 1. Gain Aegis when you are struck while below the health threshold of 50%. The internal cooldown seems to be 30 seconds. And for 5 seconds, you will block the next incoming attack. Only one attack. Strength of the Fallen. Lose conditions every interval, which is every 10 seconds. Health degenerates more slowly while downed. So 33% less health loss, and every 10 seconds you remove one condition. 33% less health loss when downed. Smiter's Boon. When you use a healing skill, you will use Lesser Smite condition, which is 16-second internal cooldown, it looks like, which is a meditation. Cure conditions and damage nearby foes. Deal more damage if a condition is cured. So you will deal more than double damage to foes if one condition is cured. You remove up to 2 conditions on, I think, 2 conditions on yourself only, but it can damage up to 5 targets with a radius of 360, so almost triple melee. Focus Mastery. Focus skills grant you protection and gain increased recharge. Okay. Protection will be 4 seconds for 33% less incoming damage for those seconds. The recharge of focus skills will be 20% faster. And since my second recommended weapon setup is sword focus, it might be cool. Steadfast Courage. Gain protection when you block an incoming attack with Aegis. Since you have Aegis as a passive, this will happen quite often, but it's only 3 seconds of protection. It's still, Valor seems to be about like damage mitigation right now, because you'll gain Aegis if you get hit below 50% hit points. You gain protection from focus skills. You gain protection from blocking. You gain Aegis passively with our F3. Alright. Stalwart Defender. Gain toughness when wielding a shield. So you definitely can't do focus and shield, so that's lame that they're trying to make you pick. And shield skills gain reduced recharge. So toughness 45. I believe toughness is basically the straight up reduction of damage received. And vitality is hit point increase. So 45 toughness, whatever that equates to, and then it'll probably go up as you level. And recharge rate is 20% faster with shield skills. I've not really looked at shield skills at all, but we can take a second to do that. I'm okay with that. Where is my shield? Shield skills, okay. So number 4, create a shield wave in front of you that damages foes while giving protection and Aegis to you and up to 5 allies. So it'll damage 1 time, it looks like. Protection for 4 seconds for myself and up to 5 allies within 600 range. It's not a bad range at all. And Aegis for 4 seconds as well. Same range, 5 allies. 20-second cooldown. So decent damage reduction. And decent cooldown. Shield of Absorption. Instead of 20 seconds, it would be 16 seconds, I believe, with the that trait we were talking about. Shield of Absorption, 24-second cooldown, 4-second cast, which just means you're casting it for 4 seconds, and during those 4 seconds, you knock back foes that are trying to get into your dome, and you absorb projectiles. And it creates a combo field of light. The radius is only 300, which is not bad, but it's not fantastic either. And it can protect up to 5 targets, it looks like. Anyway, back to what we were doing. Cool. Lesser Litany of Wrath. So, when you activate Virtue Skill 3, which is the one that gives you Aegis, activating this is a 45-second cooldown and grants Aegis for 20 seconds. Which blocks the next incoming attack for up to 5 friendlies in a 600 radius. Okay, so activating it will give you meditation. You heal yourself for a brief time. Heal yourself based on a percentage of damage dealt to enemies. That's very similar to... We already have that. Oh, so you give yourself Litany of Wrath again. So Litany of Wrath is already a skill that I have just by leveling and choosing it in the meditation tree. But you also get it, again theoretically, when you activate. If you need extra healing and you want to give yourself, if you want to give your party and yourself like extra like damage protection, you get extra healing. Cool. Okay. Communal defenses. Blocking an attack grants Aegis to nearby allies. What does blocking an attack mean? Because as far as I know, you can only block attacks with Aegis. Unless you can block... Like, there are skills that block ranged attacks, I guess, which isn't an Aegis thing. It's just a ranged attack blocker. But internal cooldown 15 seconds will give allies within 360 radius up to 5 allies 5 seconds of Aegis. Kind of confusing. Might of the Protector. Gain might when you block attacks. Again, block attacks. Is that an Aegis thing only or some other? 1 second internal cooldown. It will give might for 15 seconds, 2 stacks. It's like, can shields just straight up block? Is that what? Anyway. Altruistic healing. Heal yourself when you grant a boon to an ally. So anytime you grant a boon to an ally, you get 7 seconds. You get 7 healing at this level, and you can give Aegis to allies with communal defenses, however the fuck that works. I thought there were more in this tree that gave boons to allies. Alright, whatever. I thought there were more. Monk's Focus. Meditation skills heal you and grant fury to nearby allies. So I will get 108 healing on top of my Litany of Wrath healing thingy. I'll get fury myself, I believe, and 4 seconds of fury also to up to 5 targets within 240 range of me, which would go well with altruistic healing, but I don't think I can have both because they are one of those selection kind of threes. And the last one, Tenacious Defense. Aegis you grant reduces the recharge time of Virtue Skill 3 when it blocks an attack. Aegis I grant, so that will be Aegis I grant to anybody, I would think. So anybody who gets Aegis from me, all of those theoretically would reduce my 45-second cooldown Virtue of Courage, which grants Aegis again to allies. So kind of like a not fully self-sustaining, but something. Next tree is Honor. Number 1, Vigorous Precision. Gain Vigor when you critically strike. It looks like it's a 10 second internal cooldown. Vigor will last for 5 seconds. Invigorated Bulwark. Increase your healing to other allies each time you block an attack. Again, block is such a... I don't know what that means in this case. Mace skills gain reduced recharge, and their boons gain increased duration. So the Bulwark will last for 20 seconds. When I block an attack, 5% increased healing to others. Can stack up to 5 times for 24% total. Recharge of mace skills 20% faster. Duration of boons given by mace skills increased by 1/3. That's pretty cool. Okay. So, when you begin reviving an ally, you will create a dome around you that pushes foes back and absorbs projectiles. After a duration, it detonates, healing nearby allies. The duration is 3 seconds. There's a 24-second internal cooldown, it looks like, on this. It'll knock back 320, radius 300. Somewhat complicated, but when it detonates, it will revive allies in that 300 radius, it looks like. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out. Alright, so when you use a healing skill, you will cast Lesser Symbol of Protection, 20-second internal cooldown. There's a symbol that gives protection to you and your allies and does damage, a small amount of damage. It should pulse 2 times, giving protection for a total of 2 seconds. Up to 5 targets. The duration lasts for 2. Yeah, really low radius, like a little bit more than melee range. Selfless Daring. The end of your dodge roll heals nearby allies. Healing is pretty low. Yeah, you can heal up to 5 allies with a 240 radius. I mean, it's single digits at this level, healing. But I don't have any healing gear, so I don't know what that would do. Honorable Staff. Gain concentration. Gain additional concentration while wielding a staff. Staff skills recharge time is reduced. So concentration 22. Additional with staff another 22. And obviously I'll go up as levels and gear increase. And the recharge of staff skills reduced by 20%. Pure of Heart. Aegis heals when it blocks an attack. The healing is not bad, depending on how often you can do Aegis. I mean, yeah. Empowering Might. Grant Might to nearby allies when you critically strike. 1 second internal cooldown. The Might will last for 8 seconds. The radius is 600, so it's pretty good. It'll give Might to up to 5 targets. So if you can crit like once every 4 seconds, or one, that's probably a lot. But anyway, pretty cool. Purity of Blood. Your Virtue Skill 2 passive also regenerates endurance. So you get health every... It doesn't say how regenerating health works. It might be every second. It doesn't give me an interval. But yeah, every time your passive heals, you also get 15% increased endurance regeneration. So you can... Oh! So every time it heals, you get 15% of your endurance back. It's not like... Okay. That's cool. That's pretty cool. It gives you more dodging, more ability to move around and not get hit. Pure of Voice. Pure of Voice. Shout skills convert conditions to boons on allies. It'll convert one condition. My various shout skills are Advance, which gives Aegis and Swiftness. Every 5 second cooldown, but like it's a 2 count, and each charge is 30-second cooldown. So, but hey, that's more Aegis that you can play with the various trees we've been talking about. Okay. Cool. Symbols are improved and heal allies. So your great sword skill 4, in theory, your symbol will heal allies. The duration of symbols increases by 2 seconds. The radius increases by 60, which makes an already pretty freaking good symbol of resolution even freaking better. Like, way awesomer. More damage, healing. That's cool. Force of Will, the last one in this tree. Gain increased vitality. Healing others is improved based on the percentage of your vitality. So, you gain 300 vitality straight up, and 1 3/4% healing increase to others straight up, and your healing increases to others 1% for every 100 vitality you have. That's like a interesting like buff and healing kind of tree. Interesting. Okay. The last tree is virtues. So, first one, Inspired Virtue. Virtues apply boons to allies when activated. Deal increased strike damage for each boon on you, which is 1% more damage when you have for each boon. I don't know if that means... What? Do I have any virtues right now? I don't have any virtues on my, like, skill bar. I don't have any with my greatsword. What do we have that's a virtue that can be, like, a good example of what we're talking about here? Consecration, shout. Signet. Spirit weapon. Meditation. I don't know what virtues exist in this fucking whatever. But anyway. In theory, with whatever a virtue freaking is that... Do I have staff? Does staff have virtues? Hold on, please. I'm sorry. I'm so confused. I don't have... Symbol. No. Symbol. Damage. And a wave. It's a ward. I found a ward. Greatsword, isn't it? Symbol. Can't use pistols yet, so why is that even here? Scepter? No, as a symbol, no virtues. Staff, I would think. Symbol. Horde, no virtues. What the hell, man? What am I missing? Like, what is a virtue? Alright. Like I said in the other videos like this is a freaking noob. Virtues apply boons when activated. Oh! Wait. Oh, virtue of justice, virtue of... Okay, so our three, like, passive thingies that give us burning every 3 attacks, healing every second or whatever, and yeah. Cool. Okay. So when you activate them, you will give might, 3 stacks for 5 seconds with the first virtue, region for 5 seconds with the second one, and protection for 5 seconds with the third one. And just passively, I deal 1% more damage for every boon. I don't know if that's like specific boons, like separating them, or just if I have 5 stacks of might, do I do 5% more damage? You know. Resolute subconscious. Gain resolution and Aegis when you're disabled with a 3-second internal cooldown. Resolution lasts for 3 seconds. Aegis lasts for 4 seconds. That is kind of lackluster. Alright. Master of Consecrations. Yeah. Consecrations gain increased duration. 2 seconds longer. And I kind of saw a couple of those. I don't remember what they are, but I saw a couple of them. Oh, consecrations are a thing that there's a tree that I have. The one I would probably most likely use is Purging Flames. In fact, that's the one that I kind of had the debate with myself about Sword of Justice versus Purging Flames, but what is it they do? Sorry, hold on, damn it. No. Lasts 2 seconds longer, okay. So that's a pretty good damage increase from that Purging Flames. Virtue of Resolution. Gain resolution when you activate a virtue. Resolution you grant has increased duration, so 20% longer duration, 3 seconds of resolution when you activate a virtue. Inspiring Virtue. And by the way, Virtue of Justice is the one that can theoretically refresh itself every time you kill a foe. So you could have resolution at the beginning of every fight. And I believe in that same tree where you can refresh Virtue of Justice, your virtue number 1, it'll give you a bunch of other bonuses every time you use a virtue, and especially that virtue. But anyway, so those two trees could go together pretty well, it looks like. Inspiring Virtue. Strike damage dealt is increased after activating a virtue. So for 6 seconds, you'll do 10% more damage with strikes. Absolute Resolve. Activating Virtue Skill 2, which is your healing, your passive healing that can also heal yourself and allies. Removes conditions from nearby allies. Its passive effect gets stronger. So the healing passive is 25% stronger. It'll remove 3 conditions if it's used to heal allies, and will give every 3 seconds it'll do an additional heal. I guess it's kind of what it looks like. So Mighty Blow becomes Glacial Blow. What the fuck is Mighty Blow? Is it a hammer or... I haven't seen anything that specifically increases hammer stuff. So is Mighty Blow a hammer thing? It is. So it's hammer number 2. It's like the hammer's best skill. It's the one where you go 2, 4, 2, because 4 refreshes 2. Okay. So Mighty Blow becomes Glacial Heart, which can't crit. Deals 75 more damage. No. Instead, it turns your Mighty Blow into a chill factory every 4 seconds. And I don't fucking know. Whatever. Power of the Virtuous. I'm getting tired. Gain condition damage based on your vitality. Virtues gain reduced recharge. So 7% more. Your condition damage is increased by 7% of your vitality. So if you want to stack health, you'll get really good, like better condition damage. And the recharge rate of your virtues is 15% faster. Cool beans. Almost done. 3 more. Permeating Wrath. The passive effect of Virtue Skill 1 triggers more quickly. That's nice. That's really nice. And burns in an area. Also nice. So I guess every 2 seconds you'll do 60 burn. No, whatever. Number of attacks to trigger 3. I guess I thought it was already 3, but okay. And number of targets 5 and a 240 radius. So a little bit more, almost double melee range. Battle Presence. Nearby allies gain the passive effect of Virtue Skill 2. So nearby allies will be healed every X amount of seconds as well in 600 radius. That's nice. I like that. I like it a lot. Okay. Last one of this video and last one of the Virtues tree. Indomitable Courage. The active effect of Virtue Skill 3 breaks stun and grants stability to nearby allies. So not only are you giving Aegis to nearby allies, you are breaking their stuns and giving them stability. The passive effect gains a shorter interval. The interval is 30 seconds instead of 40. That's nice. That's what? 25% faster? I believe that's how the math works on that. Stability for 4 seconds, up to 5 targets, 600 range, break stun. Okay, cool. So that is your newbie perspective of... I'm still not entirely sure how a lot of these work, because it says when you block an attack and a bunch of them, like, what does that fucking mean? Because Aegis is the only thing I know that, like, literally blocks attacks, but dodging an attack, is that blocking an attack? And I'm pretty sure, like, the Thief tree will tell you if you dodge, or evade, I guess technically it's called evading, it'll give you boons and stuff when you do that. But, jeez. I mean, I wish they, yeah. I don't know. But I hope you learned something, or at least enjoyed my noob assessment of shit. The sponsor, non-sponsor for this last video of the night, my eyes are like tired now, is Redragon Wired Gaming Mouse with light color options. I have it turned off. The mouse still works, but the lights aren't on because it helps sleep be better. But you can be like red, blue, I think I've seen purple, green. I think there's 6 color options is my guess. You know, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, red. You know, so 6, yeah. If you purchase it with a link in my description, I'll get a small cut. This mouse has lasted me for at least 2 years, I think, which is good. It's still doing great. I have no problems with it. I'll see you next time.